long time since Arsene Wenger had the better of Jose Mourinho. When I say long time, I mean never. They've met 13 times, 6 draws, 7 losses for Wenger versus Mourinho.
It was interesting to see those interact, or lack thereof, prior to that.
And the team
didn't even look at each other. Obviously, they have different attires. One's in a suit, one's in a tracksuit. But Jose Mourinho didn't even look over there. Didn't even want to have anything to do with Arsene Wenger.
Just looking at the game as well, I think we talk about the season opener, the heat, the humidity of the game, and how that's going to pan out for the Arsenal players. Chelsea have been travelling, and he said Mourinho, didn't they? They looked tired. And I just remember in my time when we'd done a lot of travelling, coming to this game and feeling fatigued and getting running out of the game by Manchester United. So I just wonder with Arsenal, psychologically, I think it's more pressure for them to win this game than it is for Chelsea.
I think it's always more psychologically better for Arsenal to beat Chelsea. Mourinho has walked out very casually, almost as if I don't care if I win or lose. Deep down, he cares if he beats Arsene Wenger again. I know it's a friendly game, but he will love it if he wins again, and he'll go straight to the cameras afterwards, and he will gloat in his own peculiar way to Arsene Wenger.
The Premier League winners Chelsea versus the FA Cup winners Arsenal for the FA Community Shield.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem, led today by Farrell Smith.
Beautiful day in Wembley as the two teams work their way down. There's Petr Cech. Yeah, a lot of fun fist bumps going on for him right now. We saw him in the tunnel earlier. A lot of head bobbing. You just kind of sense this nervousness, this frantic energy inside of him to kind of get this moment over. It's so ironic he's taking on his former club. And Petr Cech in the nets for the Gunners today.
Yeah, when you talk about the experience that he's bringing, but I like this midfield balance. When you talk about Ozil, the responsibility of him getting the ball, Ramsey, the goals that he had last season, he has had an outstanding campaign. He can take it to a whole new level. Theo Walcott has gone down the middle, I think, to get himself with the pace with John Terry. He's going to have Chamberlain. We speak about him, a big season. The unity that this team has had, they've shown with the effort of Petr Cech coming into the equation, gives them that winning mentality. Going forward, they're very talented, but can they hold Chelsea?
Chelsea playing in this match for the 11th time, Eric, and here's how the Blues will begin.
No surprises in that back six. Spilicueta, Terry, Cahill, Ivanovic, all sitting in front of Courtois, Fabregas and Matic. Willian gets a start today, and I think that the interaction between him and Hazard will be interesting. Ramirez over Oscar, and Luke Remy up top. Diego Costa not ready yet.
Yeah, Costa fighting a hamstring injury. Falcao available on the bench. Brad?
Well, for this Arsenal team, we've been talking so much about Petr Cech coming in. I mean, let's not forget how good. What is Arsenal's strength going forward? The interchanging of players. Cazorla, very good player. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Walcott, incredible amounts of pace. Ramsey can control a game from midfield. So let's also not detract from that.
Are they still a top 4 team in the Premier League this season, the way you're seeing it shape up right now?
100%.
Okay, how about in the Champions League? How deep can they go now?
Well, I think that's where the spine of the team, that's where they've got the goalkeeper. That's where I think they really need to improve center of defense and also that holding midfielder. We're going to attention to detail on that. All good players, but I still think they need to get a bit better in those areas.
There's the man of the nets.
Oh, what a great look.
That's a fantastic, interesting day for him and Cech, but I think Coquelin is the key right now, because he sits in that little pocket and he lets everybody else play. He's better than Arteta, in my opinion.
For me, that's what he gives them, is that focus and that determination.
Yeah, it looked like he was about to take out that cameraman. I would have been a little nervous. right in front of Petr Cech with that focus he had on. The two sides flipping right now. What does this game mean back in England?
It's still huge, particularly when you're talking about Chelsea and Arsenal. I mean, we spoke about the coaches. Everybody's been waiting for the EPL to start. It's a season opener. It's a lot of pressure, a lot of expectation, but a lot of enjoyment in this game as well. And I'm sure the Chelsea players and Arsenal players and fans will be looking forward to it.
And don't forget, there's 1 week before the start of the Premier League season, so these players are all still fighting for places to get their names on that team sheet when the Premier League season starts.
Arsenal, they open up a week from today versus West Ham. Arsene Wenger and Jose Mourinho. Yes, two different attires. Maybe setting the tone, if you will, for this FA Community Shield match. But he may look like he's ready for a jog, but he's already standing up and off the bench and very focused.
He's ready for a fight.
Yeah.
But that's a statement right there. That is, he's dressed like that in order to annoy Arsene Wenger, and I'm sure it's already working.
The Blues open up their BPL campaign Saturday, taking on Swansea. The new-look Gunners with a new man in the net, Courtois, one of the best on the planet at the moment. Hope you enjoy the match. We'll see you next at halftime. We step aside and bring in Martin Tyler and former Arsenal midfielder Stuart Robson.
A little delay at the kickoff, even heightening the expectation, but there goes the first whistle. And Chelsea, immediately Matic is brought in possession by Walcott, and how about this for a start from Arsenal? Courtois just gets to it. Oxlade-Chamberlain's cross. Ramsey trying to work her way through. And he can't hold it up.
Straight away, I think it shows you exactly how Arsenal want to approach this game. They're desperate to win the game. They know that Chelsea may be undercooked. They're going to put pressure on Matic. Ramirez on the ball, as they did against Man City. Exactly the same stage last season.
Well, if this is a good afternoon for Arsenal, Stuart, I can see you looking back at that kick-off and what happened from it as a sign of the things that follow. But Chelsea will settle down, I'm sure, their own policies, which have been so successful against Arsenal in recent years, and of course pretty successful against everybody. Remember, they won the League Cup here as well as the Premier League, and in fact in 2005, Mourinho's first time around, he won the League Cup, the League Championship, and then against Arsenal, Community Shield, offside against Ronnie.
There's a problem that Petr Cech may have to deal with over the next few months of the season. Arsenal held a high offside line. Rennie just couldn't quite time his run. Petr Cech won't be used to that at Chelsea. Cahill and Terry were always backing off, not leaving that great space in behind them. Arsenal defend exactly the opposite way.
Cazorla. Walcott preferred up front again to Olivier Giroud, as he was at the end of last season. Of course, scored a hat-trick and then a goal in the cup final. And here comes Branislav Ivanovic. The one worry for Mourinho, I think, at this stage is he's short of backup defenders. Felipe Luis, who jousted with Mr. Lequeta at left back, has gone back to Atletico Madrid. Talk, of course, of John Stones of Everton being a major target. That was off the subject for the pre-Shield press conference on Friday at the Chelsea training ground.
There was a stage last season, wasn't there, where Zuma was getting into the side in place of Cahill.
And here, with Cahill, he played in midfield, you might remember, in the League Cup final against Tottenham. So Zuma is back up. But, he likes to have two for each position. Bellerin goes down. It's more like Chelsea going onto the front foot by Azpilicueta. Arsenal have picked up a couple of trophies already in the pre-season. Victorious in the Asia Trophy in Singapore. A very competitive final against Everton. They were very worthy winners. And last weekend, in their own stadium here in London, They wrapped up their Emirates Cup. On Saturday they'd beaten Lyon 6-0. And then beat Wolfsburg, who's had a very good season in Germany. Always difficult to equate those matches with different leagues, different countries having different pre-season schedules, but the old adage, you can only beat who and what's in front of you. Arsenal have been doing that.
It's interesting that Arsenal are almost playing with just one holding midfield player, almost a 4-1 formation. Zola's out on the left-hand side. Ramsey, Ozil and Oxlade-Chamberlain playing in front of Coquelin.
Driving run from Matic. Willian joining Remy in the middle. Here's Nacho Monreal, ahead of Kieran Gibbs in the pecking order. Needed a bit of cover, and a few better at providing it than the Chelsea skipper.
Mistake on that far side by Cahill. And the ball to go beyond him.
Bellerin. Mertesacker didn't play in the Community Shield a year ago. The same applied to Ozil. They were still recovering from their celebrations for winning the World Cup. Ozil's out there now. It'll come back to Ramsey, trying to force a way through and then trying to just ease it across to where Walcott was hopeful.
Ramirez with the tackle. Referee saw nothing wrong with it. Certainly didn't get any of the ball. The referee's given a throw in to Chelsea.
Cazorla has signed for 2 more years with Arsenal. Just a couple of days ago, Walcott for 4.
He was inspirational, wasn't he, last season, Cazorla? Ramirez didn't have that many opportunities under Jose Mourinho last year.
Azpilicueta, as you can see, a right-footed left-back. Does occasionally affect the balance of this going forward, but to be fair, Jose Mourinho expects his full-backs to defend, and he's a very good defender. Koscielny trying to see off Remy.
That's better from Koscielny. Didn't try and play a high offside line, then saw the ball coming from distance. Just got goal side of like Remy.
Didier Drogba, of course, is gone. Falcao has come in. He's one of the substitutes. Represents a little bit of a gamble. Jose Mourinho, Chelsea were on the receiving end of the authentic Falcao. An occasion a bit like this in a European context, the European Super Cup 2012. Falcao got an absolutely brilliant hat-trick against Atletico Madrid. And the referee gets a touch there, but in the end, looking as though he was going to decide to let this work its own way out without a whistle, decided to give the free kick to Chelsea.
He's just got to be careful. He can be a little bit hot-headed. Really good second half of the season, having been on loan at Charlton, being called back. Certainly played his part in Arsenal winning the FA Cup, having a good run.
Well, Mikel Arteta, who was injured, and that really gave Coquelin the chance. He is an Arsenal substitute today. It's a long time since he's played in a recognised competitive game for the Gunners.
The position as the holding midfield player, absolutely different.
Hazard. Now Fabregas can't get away. That was stuck out to stop that, belonged to Aaron Ramsey. Hazard. A job like that for Petr Cech will be a step further towards settling in. Also help Bellerin know when the goalkeeper can deal with those sort of back passes. They should be routine, but frankly aren't. Mertesacker on Fabregas.
He certainly didn't get the ball, Mertesacker, from first view of it. Fabregas just about got there and poked the ball away from him. He's taken a real whack.
Well, Anthony Taylor was a referee down at Southampton in December. Stuart, you might remember the occasion. He booked Fabregas for diving, and then later, on review, well after the dust had settled, would apologise to Jose Mourinho for getting it wrong. What about that one?
Let's have a look again. He just bumps into him in the end. I think he got that just about right. Fabregas gets the ball. He runs into Mertesacker. Mertesacker just holds it back for him. I think it's right not to give a penalty. It's a clumsy challenge from the big centre-half.
Knowing Mourinho's attention to detail, he won't have forgotten the incident down at St Mary's at the back end of last year. There's a lot of Mertesacker to collide with.
It's interesting that Mourinho's playing Cesc Fabregas further up the field here today, in behind the main striker, leaving Ramirez and Matic to do the holding jobs. He often does that against the very best sides. He consider Arsenal as one of the very best sides these days.
Yes, he's had Arsene Wenger and Arsenal in his managerial line of fire. They're not the only ones, mind you. Another occasion, as we might have been calling Stuart, for Cech to come out. Simpler task for the ex-Chelsea man to deal with there. Cahill. There's good pressure by Arsenal to force the Ivanovic into a mistake. Bellerin. Breakdown in communications, something that can happen at this very early stage of a campaign. The industrious Willian, Northern industry here, real quality as well. He's crossing on the run. Ramirez have got into the box. Corner for Chelsea.
Great play from wide right player Willian. Sucks Monreal, goes past the next challenge, plays it out wide. That's the pace of Bellerin. That's why he's such a good defender. Doesn't always read situations, but he's got such pace to recover.
Chelsea's corner. Oh, and Cech has to pour it away, but the whistle had gone, to the frustration of Ivanovic in particular.
It's Cahill on Monreal. Monreal looks as though he was going to head the ball first. Cahill gave him a nudge in the back. Here it comes again. Monreal just about to head it. Oh, it doesn't seem to be that much in it. Got to be stronger at the near post, both Mertesacker and Monreal.
A bit of sympathy with Ivanovic then. Willian.
Chelsea trying to do on that far side is drag Monreal infield with Willian to allow Ivanovic to make those bursting run forwards as he does up against Cazorla. Doesn't really want to do the defensive side of the game when he's playing wide left.
It's another sharp turn from Willian. Azpilicueta. By Fabregas here. Ramirez. Fabregas trying to feed it into Remy's feet, and then almost in frustration knocking over Aaron Ramsey. Part of the Wales squad who found themselves in the top 10 in the world rankings, and the World Cup seeding already a reward for that. Chelsea had a win here yesterday in the Women's FA Cup final, the club's first such trophy. Notts County 1-0.
Here's the problem that you mentioned again. When they do switch the play out, you've got a left footer who'll be charging forward now. Azpilicueta has to come back in field. It just stops the move.
Hazard. It's gone on towards the near post. And settles for the corner. He's thinking about being involved in the taking of the corner. A short one will be on if they go quickly with it. Hazard has decided against it. When you've got goal-scoring defenders who come up, why would you want to necessarily go short? Cahill and Terry and Ivanovic. Matic is a tall man as well.
Just looking at the setup there, Ivanovic, who's one of the best headers of the ball in Chelsea's side, was being marked by Ozil. That's rather a mismatch if anything comes his way.
The right foot of Azpilicueta used to good effect there. And the head of Koscielny, it's gone back where it came from though. Chelsea start the defence of their title on Saturday. They have another game on Wednesday. This is unusual for Premier League clubs in the build-up to the opening weekend. They play Fiorentina at Stamford Bridge. And, the suggestion is that those players not involved in this game will be the ones who start that.
Once again, like Remy, just making his run a fraction too early. I think he'd be quite pleased with the way things have gone in this first 15 minutes. Jose Mourinho. And it is just offside.
Ramsey. Koscielny.
Difficult to break Chelsea down if you play slowly. Very well organised. There's not going to be a lot of space in behind. Good run from Walcott. Ramsey couldn't quite see the pass.
Arsene Wenger doesn't mask his emotions. Don't need any words from me or Stuart about that particular passage of play. With a throw off the chest of Fabregas. Matic, another cornerstone of Chelsea's excellent season. He lost 4 games in all competitions. And 1 of the 3 league defeats came after they'd won the title. Cahill. Fabregas. By Mertesacker, who has a very good record at Wembley in terms of scoring goals. Chipped in the FA Cup final, he scored here, a winner for Germany. Scored in the FA Cup semi-final as well.
Performance against Germany was one of the best I've seen from Mertesacker there against England. Absolutely outstanding.
That was the German team building up to the World Cup, of course. In the end, it needed some decisive action, and Cahill was going to do it, even if it was at the expense of a teammate. It's worked nicely by Arsenal here. In the end, Cazorla was shut out. So we'll see. Defending with numbers, but still with Ozil troubling them. A couple of passages of passing that would have had Arsene Wenger smiling rather than frowning. And certainly got the Arsenal fans roaring. So Chamberlain's gone infield. Here he is again.
And that's when Arsenal are at their best, and they're playing those 1-2s in and around the box. So good and tight spaces, but they've lost it here.
That's a foul. As Fabregas played it.
He's just got to be careful. There's the first challenge. There's nothing wrong with that. Ramirez wins the ball. Ozil runs into his left thigh.
Well, Gary Cahill, of course, came back from America with a facial problem. He scored a very brave goal, winning a header. He's punched, not deliberately, but by a goalkeeper.
Didn't need to make that challenge. Willian had done brilliantly racing back, showing his pace and his defensive quality. Could have just given an angle off the back. Willian could have passed it back to him.
There was talk of Cahill playing today in a mask, Stuart, and Jose Mourinho let everybody know a few days ago that that wouldn't happen. But he might be just ruining that now. Kurt Zuma wondering. Oscar shaking his head, saying, no, he'll be fine.
Don't get yourself too worked up. You're not going to be on for a while. He's just mopping his brow. He's a bit hot on the bench there.
Yeah, they're right in the glare of the sun. Factor 15 at least, I would think.
He must have darker skin than me. That'll be a factor 50, I'm afraid.
Falcao with a more trimmed haircut. Ozil's okay. And Cahill, unless the doctors say otherwise, I'm sure we'll want to come back. Just if it's a problem with his breathing, Stuart, I would guess. Well, I'm not sure whether it was deliberate by Ivanovic.
If it was deliberate to try and get it over the top of Petr Cech, it wasn't a very good effort, was it?
No. Just think if it hadn't been Cech, he might have done something different. But anyway, on we go. Taylor's back in position. Ozil's back in position. It's 0-0 here. 20 minutes gone. He needed to be in position.
So Walcott's trying to spin him behind there, but there was just no space to make the run. It was only a mistake by John Terry that almost allowed him in.
And we're going in bravely. Monreal. Ramirez was Ozil then.
Good little drag back. Mesut Ozil. He's such a good player in tight situations.
But in situations like this, of course, Giroud is a notable absentee. No great aerial presence, although Koscielny has gone up. He's now going back again. Arsenal deciding to play it short. Koscielny is no longer in the middle. So the low road is the only road, really. And we've got another free kick. Ivanovic couldn't resist having just a little nibble there.
The referee reacted to the scream as well, didn't he, from Cazorla? Here is the challenge. Just catches him on the Achilles. Just that's the wrong challenge there. Doesn't need to make that. Can't win the ball.
Koscielny's back upfield. Mertesacker has joined him. He'll be looking to add to his Wembley goals. I think they were all scored at the other end. Kept quite flat. And that was a help-on header from Walcott. Courtois something to do anyway.
I wonder if the free kick was actually aimed for Walcott. It's a very short one. Thought he'd have been the target in the air. They're trying to double mark Mertesacker at set plays. Cahill and Matic. Matic in front of him, Cahill behind him.
There is Cahill. They're asking for offside Arsenal and they get it. Against Remy. He was linked with a move to Arsenal before he came to Chelsea. Around the time Giroud had an early season broken ankle up at Everton. Just over a year ago. Well, that could be a penalty. That's what the Arsenal fans were calling for, but to be fair, Walcott wasn't making a meal of it.
I think he stumbled on the ball as well. Pitch just looks a little bit sticky at the moment. One or two players able to run with it cleanly.
Well, one who has been running with it well has been Willian. He couldn't get it done. And he's gone through them and he's gone offside. Walcott. Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's got so much power. Tries to use it. Oh, there it is. In abundance. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. An outstanding goal. Midway through the first half. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0.
Well, they worked it really well down the far side of the field. And once Oxlade-Chamberlain gets in a 1v1 against any defender, even as good as Azpilicueta, there's always going to be problems. And what he does well is take it into the box. So it's difficult for the next challenge to come in. Here's the play down the far side. This is the clever pass into Walcott here. Ramsey had made the forward run. Now 1v1. Azpilicueta can't quite get tight enough. Matic had just been taken by the overlapping run into the space in behind. What a good strike. Nothing that Courtois could do about this.
It's the Ox in the box. And Arsene Wenger's Arsenal lead Jose Mourinho's Chelsea. It has happened before and not led to victory. We'll see what this leads to. They're giving themselves a chance of breaking the hoodoo.
That's what he's capable of doing, Oxlade-Chamberlain. His career's been hampered in the last couple of years by injury. He wanted to play centrally for quite some while. He's a central midfield player.
I think he just wants to play, Stuart, because as you say, he got injured in the FA Cup quarter-final at Manchester United and hardly featured. A couple of sub-outings at the end of the season. Did come on in the FA Cup final here and helped set up the fourth of the four against Villa for Giroud. Big moments these for Arsenal, with a lead to protect and a cry for offside, which is heeded.
It's about the fourth time he's now been caught offside. Right, Remy has got to realise that Arsenal try and hold a high line. Only about 3 or 4 yards deeper than the ball.
Well, the Arsenal fans are in the sunnier part of the stadium. They're in good voice. On the sunnier side of the scoreline at the moment. It really was a cracking cross shot when he delivered and coming onto his left foot.
Didn't even bend it into the far corner. He just struck it to the inside of his laces with great power.
Getting again. And steps Laurent Koscielny. Oh, it was a simple pass and he just got a little bit too casual on it to ease it into Monreal's path. There now. So it goes Chelsea's way.
The player that looks a little bit off the pace for me is Cesc Fabregas at the moment. He's been caught on the ball, hasn't been able to pick his passes. He's just got away from him. Arsenal players have got away from him when they've had the ball.
They did improve last season in, if you like, the pragmatic side of the game. Always, you look at Arsenal in these big matches to say, well, are they capable of keeping a clean sheet? They did it very well up at Manchester City last season when they won 2-0. And of course, they did gain a place in the Premier League final table. Whether they can recapture that ruthless streak that Wenger's previous teams had. since the Invincibles in 03-04, which was followed, of course, by the first coming of Chelsea, Jose Mourinho. And then one in 05 and 06.
Our excellent usual co-commentator, Gary Neville, spoke about how Arsenal became a soft side after being very tough for a while. He's absolutely right for 3 or 4 seasons.
They need to be tough here. Chelsea try and find an equalising goal before half-time. Onside in the middle now. Knocked away safely by Koscielny. Will Falcao, who, I suppose, to be fair, failed the test at Manchester United. He probably would argue wasn't given quite the right number of chances in the right kind of matches, but they didn't take up the option to sign him after a loan on a permanent deal.
The position that Petr Cech is taking up here for this long throw.
It's a chance for Walcott to run, and he can run. Ramsey able to retrieve the pass. Oxlade-Chamberlain, the man of the moment, goes again. I'm trying to go down the outside.
Take nothing away from the run that Bellerin made for the goal. Ran past Oxlade-Chamberlain at pace, and Matic then went in behind the fullback rather than inside of him. That's what enabled Oxlade-Chamberlain to come inside and get that left foot shot away. Normally Matic would have been there ready to get the challenge in.
Quetta, Bellerin, Chamberlain in action again. Remy held it up well. Quetta testing Courtois' left foot. It's actually said the goalkeeper, well, you can have it back again. I don't think in the end deliberately. Chelsea trying to build here with Fabregas. Didn't really want to give it to Ivanovic on the outside.
He missed 2 opportunities there. Like Remy was in, he made a run in behind. Fabregas didn't pass that one, and then Ramirez made a good forward run and would have been in.
That's a good forward run from Willian. Hazard. Remy. Can't get anything there. Good foot in by Cahill. Fabregas. Again, Spence, Ivanovic. Matic, room for Willian. Arsenal open up here. Chelsea had numbers in the centre for the cutback.
And on that occasion, so did Arsenal as well. They got players back into the danger area, having been opened up. The recovery runs were good from the Arsenal players on that occasion.
Fabregas. Ramirez. Finally, Ivanovic's persistence on the far side rewarded with a pass in his direction. That's when it came this side that Arsenal looked in trouble. Willian. No gap to find there. A mistake by Bellerin. Haven't recovered from it as yet. Ramirez lining it up. Had plenty of whip on it. Good try from the Brazilian midfield man.
And it's good that they pressurise the ball here at Chelsea. 4 or 5 players round it. Lets it run across his body. You can see exactly what he's trying to do. He just can't get the whip. He uses Koscielny as a guide. Also has to play it past like Remy. Good effort, though, from Ramirez.
I'm sure privately there's been a bit of banter about who's going to score past Cech. Some header from Matic. It's Azpilicueta.
It's interesting that Matic, when Petr Cech's going to kick long, comes out into the left-back position as he knows that Oxlade-Chamberlain is the only real target in the air for Arsenal.
Monreal, Cazorla, and Coquelin. It's just got it. Oxlade-Chamberlain to Bellerin. They're still working together, this right-sided combination. Ends up as a goal kick. And Hazard, who certainly under Jose Mourinho improved that side of his game. But there was nothing down this flank that Chelsea could do with this.
What a great strike it was. Just watch Matic's position. He goes behind Azpilicueta and it just opens up for Oxlade-Chamberlain to come infield. Maybe John Terry may have got closer to him. A really good finish from an outstanding player.
Ivanovic. Fabregas. Last meeting between the two was at the Emirates in April. It was a goalless draw, which Chelsea celebrated as if they'd won the match because they felt they'd passed this one really remaining hurdle in the regaining of the title, which of course subsequently followed. Willian. Arsenal got a shuttle across here, and Ivanovic can whip it in. But took too long in doing so.
The reason you switch play like that is so that you get an overload on the far side of the field and get enough time to get the cross in. Ivanovic waited and waited.
Fabregas. Ivanovic. And of course, without Diego Costa, we mentioned Giroud not playing, of course. Chelsea without a real aerial threat in that respect. Remy's more a taker-up of positions in the box. He's got a lot of natural striking instincts, but he hasn't quite got the same roughhouse approach, if you like, of Diego Costa.
There's been a couple of balls that have been played into the box with his back to goal. Diego Costa has been twisting and turning, trying to roll, trying to get shots away. Remy hasn't been able to do that. The ball pinched off him.
Here is Remy. Oh, what a chance for Ramirez, who previously had the best Chelsea effort. And Jose Mourinho reflects on the moment that really should have brought the equaliser.
It's good play. And there's the pass. He's not offside. Koscielny tries to step up. It's the wrong timing as well. But now Mertesacker has to get tighter here. He just allows the ball to be played in. Monreal tries to get round on the cover. Ramirez has to score here. Mertesacker has to get closer and stop the cross coming into the box. It's no good going out there and being 2 yards away.
Yep. No one knows better, Jose, than the culprit. He got into a very good position, and with plenty of the game left, encourage Chelsea that they can work those areas.
That little demonstration. I'm not sure Jose was that good in the air.
No, his father was a goalkeeper, so I'm not sure about Jose's own playing career. It wasn't particularly distinguished, but you can say that about his managerial career. Manager emeritus, really. That'll be a corner.
Here comes a little back heel from Santi Cazorla. Just overran this corner, allowed Fabregas to get the challenge in. Mertesacker wandering towards the near post. They've had a lot of success with that, Arsenal, over the last year or so.
Having survived what should have been an equaliser, a chance for Arsenal maybe to go 2 in front. And Matic scrapes it away. What a ball out to the right-hand side it was from Cazorla.
On the volley. Firstly, he has to have the awareness, but then the technique to actually succeed with it.
This is the difference, Stuart.
Comes off Terry. He wasn't quite sure where it was, nor was Mertesacker. Chelsea having enough players in and around the penalty spot to get it clear.
Ramsey, side netting.
William just went to sleep there. Ramsey does that so well. A little forward run, darting 10-yard run. Just runs in behind William. Cahill can't get across in time. He should have cut it back here.
It's a warm afternoon, Stuart, as often is the case for the Community Shield. But I think what we're seeing is what Jose Mourinho has believed in. Players don't have to have long pre-season. They're not gulping for air here, standing, wanting water breaks. And the game's been played at the proper tempo. It looks like a Premier League game. It's got an edge to it. It's got quality to it.
You're absolutely right. Gone are the days where you had to do long run-in, sprint after sprint, in hot conditions, day in, day out, lots of weights. The players are conditioned all season long. They don't have a break as such.
It's a mental break, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's all they need.
A mental break, and also to get one or two little knocks and bruises sorted out.
Yeah. Absolutely. Terry had none of those last season. Played every minute of the whole Premier League campaign. First time he's ever done that in his long career. Here's Willian. Azpilicueta, Fabregas. Only going to the far post. That's in practice. As ex-Arsenal works ex-Chelsea.
Not quite sure what Fabregas was looking for there. Like Remy was trying to work the back of Koscielny. That bit of space in between him and Monreal, as Ramirez did. It wasn't a good pass in the end from Cesc Fabregas. He's having more of an influence on the game the last 10-15 minutes or so. Slightly deeper.
I was going to say he's had to go deeper to get that, hasn't he? Here he is again. Get it through to Hazard. Ramsey.
Looks as though Ramirez has now gone to the right-hand side. Hazard is playing through the middle, and Willian has come to the left.
Mertesacker. Ramsey trying to get away. Matic, who stumbled a bit. Coquelin. Ozil. The sweeping Arsenal attack here. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Oh, a very fine piece of defending by Ivanovic, who's ended up a little bit the worse for wear. Looked as though for a moment Oxlade-Chamberlain had just taken it too far, but Courtois didn't get tempted out to come at him.
This is a really good lift into the box. I think you're right, his touch is too heavy, but look where Courtois goes, and it makes it easy, I think, for Oxlade-Chamberlain just to dink it over him. There's the one-touch football that you expect from Arsenal. Bellerin finding himself in a good position, 2v1 against Azpilicueta. Courtois doesn't need to come into that area. Great defending, Ivanovic. It's Monreal, the left-back, that's making the challenge. That's how much ground he'd made up.
And Bellerin was involved in the move on this near side, the right-back.
Should actually change the name of the positions that the fullbacks play these days.
Here's Willian. Well, they should defend at the back. Yeah. But Willian's got into a position where there wasn't a right back there to deal with him.
No, they're almost being asked to be right-sided players and left-sided players. Petr Cech almost asking Azpilicueta to throw it into him. Starts in his 6-yard box.
Tempted to go for it in the end.
That's where Walcott has to do a lot better. No real effort to get in the way of John Terry there.
Willian. Ozil. I thought he was fouled. Never gave up on it. Maybe because of that. In the end, he's an offside, but probably lets Ozil off the hook a little bit, and maybe Walcott just a little earlier, as you mentioned.
As a centre forward, and that's what he's got to learn if he wants to play as a centre forward. Ozil just throws his arms up, says I've been fouled. Once again, he's just made his run a little bit too early. Yeah, the Chelsea crowd in and around us a bit frustrated with Remy so far.
Falcao continues to limber up. Chelsea running out of time to use purposefully in this first half and maybe equalise before the break. Fabregas, Ivanovic. Good work by Cazorla.
He's got to work harder, Ivanovic, to get those crosses in. It's too easy for Cazorla just to stand in his way. That's maybe why Cesc Fabregas hasn't passed him out the ball too often.
We played it now. Community Shield here, probably 6 years ago now, and he got taken off at half-time, Borislav Ivanovic. As against Manchester United. Cahill. The header down. That will be a free kick, and Arsenal will be annoyed at that because it's half-time almost upon us all. And Arsenal got a 1-0 lead to defend, and now they've got a free kick to defend.
He just crashes into the back. There's Coquelin. I think he throws himself to the ground there, Ivanovic.
But this is a position that Chelsea can always threaten from. Could have been a Mertesacker goal at that end of the ground again, but he's been in the wrong end for him today.
It's a good delivery from Cesc Fabregas. Ivanovic, the player, going for it. Almost beats Koscielny in the air. There's the man that's separating the two teams at the moment. What an exceptional goal it was. There's his dad.
Mark Chamberlain, who, gosh, it makes me feel old. I commentated when he scored for England at the old Wembley.
I played against him when he made his debut for Stoke City against Arsenal in 1982-83. He gave Kenny Sanson the biggest roasting I've ever seen Kenny Sanson get.
They are the only father and son to have both scored for England. As far as Arsenal is concerned, Oxlade-Chamberlain's got maybe all of his goals for Arsenal before today at the Emirates. A bit of a home banker in that respect. He scored a wonderful Wembley goal here. Sosa looks back at the roar of the crowd, and he's halted his progress to the Chelsea dressing room in case he's got a team talk to deliver it 2-0 down. He hasn't. It stays at 1-0. Arsenal fair value for it. Possibly the fact that Arsene Wenger's side have been back a little bit earlier in pre-season, which was suggested before the game started. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain showed what he has to offer. He's got to work hard to get a regular place in this Arsenal team. He's done himself a power of good in the first half at Wembley with the only first half goal in the Community
the festivities?
They're the corporate ones. They're having their sandwiches.
The real
how that
fans,
works, right?
the real fans are in their seats. Is that what you're telling me? We'll be back for the post-game show. Arsenal on top 1-0 for the second half call. Martin Tyler, Stuart Robson.
This time, I'd have been absolutely delighted in counting the days, but it doesn't quite come in the same condition. And we had a serious knee problem.
Chelsea have had a recent player, centre forward, that really wasn't able to recapture his form and fitness. Torres. Hopefully it's not the same with Falcao.
Do you put Shevchenko in that bracket as well?
I think so. That's why it's so good for Chelsea that Diego Costa was an instant hit last season.
So Arsenal leading by 1-0. Scored at the midway point of the first half by Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in emphatic fashion.
Well, Ramirez is going to play on the right-hand side now, and that means Fabregas is going to play in alongside Matic as they ended the first half. May make them better going forward, but I still think Fabregas is a liability defensively when he's playing in a normal midfield too.
Chelsea thought the ball had gone out then, particularly Fabregas is still gesturing at the assistant referee. A bit of keep ball from Arsenal at the start of the second half. It's gone out now and it's Chelsea's throw, and Fabregas wants to take it quickly, but they're all running away from him. Monreal. Walcott. That's to front up the defenders and then get at them, but he couldn't do that there. Falcao feeding Ramirez. Hazard's in the middle. Falcao, natural goal scorer's got in there too. And well taken by Cechny. Anticipated where the cutback was coming from Willian.
You're absolutely right. Read that perfectly. Petr Cech in good hands when he made the right decision.
And Chelsea are coming back at him again. Hazard, who hasn't had too many special moments in this match, it's unlike him. And Arsenal starting to find some gaps. I'm a bit sure the numbers in the middle. And the best efforts of Oxlade-Chamberlain this time. Can't prevent a goal kick. Arsene Wenger suggests that Matic might have been culpable here.
I think the referee's right on that occasion, not to give the free kick. Good defending by Matic.
If you look at the long-term history of these two clubs, you'd call Arsenal the Kings of London, really, Stuart, wouldn't you? The number of titles and FA Cups, and more FA Cups than anybody else now after winning it in May. And Chelsea, of course, have been more successful in the 21st century. To hit back again here. Comes out to, I guess he's just trying to take it on, use perhaps Ramirez as a decoy. Chelsea's throw.
Just had to lift it over the challenge. If he just lifts the ball there, Fabregas either wins a penalty or he's in.
Matic. Azpilicueta. Hazard letting it run, but there couldn't have been a call from Falcao.
Just sense when Falcao got the ball in that sort of inside left position, he should have done better. It's a weak effort from him in the end.
Still with the same line-up at the start of the second half as they had at the start of the first. Fabregas. Willian. Ramirez. Handed out by Koscielny. Ozil couldn't keep it. Arsenal is rather sitting in at the moment, or maybe you could say Chelsea are making them sit in.
I think that was the shape of the last 15-20 minutes of that first half. Once they went 1-0 down, Chelsea played much better, had more of the ball. Arsenal sat that little bit deeper. They are so threatening on the counter, Arsenal.
Chelsea trying to get a corner out of this. Arsenal simply trying to get out of a tight corner. least have got the throw.
He's probably Chelsea's best player in that first half, Willian, and there's Diego Costa. He doesn't like the sun either.
The Brazilian who plays for Spain. It's just not happy viewing. Looking into the glare. And he'd rather be playing than watching, that's for sure. Away by Ivanovic. And Cazorla. Coquelin. Bellerin. So Chamberlain making sure Mertesacker had an easy task. Still threatening again. Cazorla and Ozil and Walcott moving in different directions.
Well, he just wanted Walcott to stand still and allow the ball to be played in behind. It wasn't a good run from Theo Walcott. That's what he's just got to learn if he's playing as that centre forward. Another poor pass from Ivanovic. There's lots of space for him to hit that ball in for the run of Hazard.
Here's Ramsey. Tied up by Cahill. Monreal. Slightly slower start to the second half, reflecting where we are in the calendar. Chelsea only relatively short on pre-season games, but only a few days back from North America. Jose Mourinho was insisting that jet lag wasn't a problem. It doesn't necessarily just go away straight away. Oh, what a ball by Coquelin. Ozil knows it, but he couldn't contain it.
I think he disguised the pass very well as well. Coquelin there. Ball played in, you see Cahill starts to go in field with the run of Walcott. Ivanovic wasn't round on the cover. He gets hold of it, that's a great opportunity. Just a bit too much pace from Coquelin.
So Oscar is Chelsea ready. A second substitute here. Willian. Matic. Remember, it is a penalty shootout at this level after 90 minutes. No extra time. And Chelsea had pre-season games against Paris Saint-Germain and Barcelona in the last few days. They've both gone to penalty shootouts, and they have won the penalty shootouts on both occasions. They've got to get an equaliser for to come into play here. He's up against Radamel Falcao. He was a very popular Manchester United player with his teammates. Arrived with surprisingly good English. And Ramirez gives way to his fellow countryman Oscar. We've got Stuart, you might remember when they played at the Emirates the last time they met, he was absolutely clattered by the Arsenal goalkeeper. Probably was Ospina, wasn't it, then? And nothing was given. It was almost a Tony Schumacher moment from back in the 80s. And we didn't see him again for the rest of the season.
He's going to play in behind Falcao. Different sort of player to Ramirez. This is the player they need to have a bit more influence on the game, Chelsea. Hazard. Hasn't been on any of those dribbling runs, hasn't been high enough up the field at times.
Walcott. It's going to be a test of Chelsea's fitness here, not their football. You obviously know that they're an exceptional team. But however good you are, if you're not quite ready for a match in relative warmth as far as England is concerned, on a big pitch, a sapping surface against good opposition who are probably that little bit fitter, we'll see in that respect what they're made of. Almost 10 minutes gone in the second half. Ivanovic.
Certainly having more of the ball now, Chelsea. They're dictating the play. Have they got that cutting edge? They haven't shown it so far in this first 10 minutes of the second half.
What they have got, I think, in their favour is the psychology. They'll also be thinking, it's not just about the Community Shield, this is about ending a hoodoo. They've had the hex on them, Chelsea under Mourinho. And throw from Ivanovic. Willian. Chelsea press again. Oscar and Falcao, the two substitutes in the middle. And Willian, he might take that on. Should be Czech's ball. There's a lot been said that he could be a missing link. Jose Mourinho admitted initially he vetoed Czech going to Arsenal, but he was overruled from above, and in the end came round to the way of thinking, look, when you've done so much for one club, Czech was very keen to keep his family in London, and it would be heartless, even by Mourinho's standards, to deny him that opportunity.
I think he said that once he realised he couldn't stop it. He's a good goalkeeper.
And Begovic will push him too, I'm sure. Here's Oscar. Chelsea need to push Arsenal here. Won by Falcao, a shot by Oscar, never threatening.
I think he had to take the shot on or play it wide for Willian. It's good play to start with. Falcao had just run offside. Arsenal centre-halves. First of all, Mertesacker goes to the ball, then Koscielny.
One thing I didn't mention, Stuart, when we were talking about Arsenal being kings of London, of course, Chelsea have done one thing that Arsenal would love to do, and that's win the Champions League. And I'm sure the Chelsea fans would regard that as regal status.
Of course, Arsenal had their chance, didn't they, that night in Paris against Barcelona. 1-0 up with 5 minutes to go.
Down to 10 men for much of that game, of course, from Jens Lehmann. Had a lot of goalkeepers since Jens Lehmann. Petr is the latest one, and I think most experts will say should be the best one. Even though at 33, you always wonder about the aging process. Less of a problem with goalkeepers, of course. Tom Brooks with the flag.
Well, I'm not sure that was offside. You see Mertesacker racing up a little bit too late there. I've seen a lot of Ozil in the game. 1 or 2 nice little touches. I think that's what Arsenal supporters get annoyed about. See some of his quality, but not on a consistent basis.
Santi Cazorla. October 2011, the last Arsenal win over Chelsea. The afternoon when Robin van Persie ran riot at Stamford Bridge.
Of course, it wasn't Mourinho in charge that day, was it?
No. Almost through for Walcott. It's 13 games between Jose Mourinho's Chelsea and Arsene Wenger's Arsenal, in which Mourinho remains unbeaten, but his team are losing here with almost an hour gone.
Having more of the play now, Chelsea. Really seen Arsenal in the top third of the field in this second half. Just sitting in. Chelsea got enough to break them down here.
And out by Koscielny. Drops from Matic. A weary ball out towards Azpilicueta. Now Hazard. Matic. Arsenal press. Chelsea pass it round them. Only in an area where Arsenal got plenty of time to regroup. And this one ball over the top does them. And it very nearly did for Falcao. really shouldn't happen, the manager will be saying.
He was a fraction offside when the ball was played, but two centre-halves can't just be so square as that. They've got to look for the run of Falcao.
Chelsea quickening the tempo, varying the approach work. Oscar. Falcao lurking again. Koscielny made sure it didn't reach him. Willian. Matic got there. More optimism in the Chelsea support. Willian. Suddenly there weren't too many other options.
That time Falcao had come short of him, so Willian didn't have a forward pass.
Here's Ivanovic. Falcao wheels into the middle. Has a look at Williams' run. Plays it square. Where there's some crafty play from Fabregas. Hazard's in here. That was very well worked by Chelsea. Fabregas probably played his best ball of the match. And Hazard had the chance to really announce himself in the match.
Great bit of play from Cesc Fabregas. Koscielny racing across. Be interesting to see what sort of challenge Koscielny put in here. Does really well. Just about level. Koscielny makes him rush. Certainly no foul from Koscielny. That's where Arsenal just get a little bit too square. Real was out the picture. Couldn't get back. Koscielny, the reason he's injured is because as Hazard finished his strike, he just landed on top of the Arsenal centre-half.
Two players who played such an extraordinary part in Chelsea winning the title. Fabregas with his assists and Hazard with assists and goals. In tandem then, and Arsenal look much more vulnerable than at any other point in the match. They're in trouble again here as they're coming together. And it's pulled it. Anthony Taylor is a free kick to Arsenal against Falcao.
At one point, he looked favourite to get to the ball. I thought he did. Just maybe that lack of sharpness that he once had, Falcao. Monreal getting back into a good position, back across him. Good play from Chelsea. Starting to dominate proceedings here.
He's an important player, Radamel Falcao, because if Diego Costa was to have another hamstring-affected season, it was still a very good season. He got 20 Premier League goals, remember. There's always that feeling that there might be one stretch too far.
And we've already seen that Loic Remy didn't really do it consistently last season when he was given the opportunity. He hasn't done it here today.
Olivier Giroud consigned at the moment to the role of backup attacker. Scored in the Community Shield a year ago. Scored in the FA Cup final when he came on as a substitute. Oxlade-Chamberlain. As the players are all rather dragged towards the man who had the ball. Willian just happy to hack it forward. Oscar giving it back to Mertesacker. Mentioned Jack Wilshere's injury. They'll be having a scan. It's not the real problem ankle. A little bit of optimism in the medical ranks, but they won't know really until tomorrow. Williams cross, man over at the back. Azpilicueta now has to chase back, and chasing Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is a difficult thing to do. It's a one-man counter charge.
There's the strength. Oxlade-Chamberlain does well just to get away from him there. There's the tug on the shirt. Gets past Matic. Matic Matic overcommitted himself there.
Looking for Azpilicueta. And the change for Arsenal. Theo Walcott off, Olivier Giroud on.
He's been tried many times at centre forward for Arsenal. On occasions it's been a success. I'm not sure today he's shown his real quality.
Arsenal also, Stuart, without Danny Welbeck, of course, who's missed much of the pre-season. For the record, Mathieu Flamini and Thomas Rositzky able to be in consideration for this game because of injury problems. Now they can put it in the air. For Giroud, although it didn't come to his dangerous head that time. He's pretty good at dealing with the dropping ball with his left foot too.
Well, that's what Giroud gives you. Set up the play originally, then finds the right run. He knows exactly where to find space in the box. Just pulls off the back of Ivanovic. Always difficult to get it on target. Good cross from Oxlade-Chamberlain. So often we see Giroud make that run to the near post. This time he comes round the back.
Well, if he'd kept it down, it would have been interesting. Courtois did get across. Zipped up into the roof. Would have been the biggest surprise. The roof of the net, that is, not the stadium. Arsenal looking to go again. And Giroud looking to go again. Left-footed again. Coquelin. Ozil. Gets it back, couldn't sort his feet out. Willian. He's lost none of his capacity for industry. Oscar. Marcal's gone offside. Free kick's given. It might have been Coquelin, who has been a serial offender here, and for that, his number is up. As the card goes up.
Yeah, he's got no chance of winning the ball. The ball's past him, so he goes into the back of Hazard. Hazard does really well just to hold off the challenge, so it always makes it look worse than it really is. But it's a foul. As you said, he's been a persistent offender.
Getting Kurt Zuma ready. Brazilians famous for free kicks through the generations from this sort of position. Oscar, as you all know, is Brazilian.
Scored some wonderful goals, hasn't he?
Sorry, Stuart, to cut across you. Ivanovic is now gone in front of Cech. Of course, there has been a change in the offside interpretation this season. He will be seen, I think, as interfering with play if this was to go directly in, which might not have happened last season. And certainly if he's looking at the goalkeeper, he's distracted Cech, he hopes. Oscar takes. Cech saves just about. A very interesting episode.
I'm not sure how he affected the goalkeeper. By the time he's run out, he's got a full view of it. Petr Cech, and a good save it is. It's right into that top corner.
Chelsea denied by their former goalkeeper spectacularly. Azpilicueta gives way to Kurt Zuma, who certainly made progress in Jose Mourinho's minds last season. In towards Cech, struggling with the punch. He's going to come again. Done better the second time. And that's a giveaway by Ozil. Good covering by Bellerin. Setting up to a pretty decent finish here, you feel, at Wembley. There's Giroud. Got Ozil. Ramsey has got to stay on side in the middle. Cazorla. Ramsey. Giroud! Well, he certainly got into the thick of it straight away.
There again, you see a great example of how he can find space in the box. Olivier Giroud. Petr Cech had his moment up the other end. Chelsea never really looked as though they were going to get this clear. Another good bit of play from Cazorla. But look at the space. He just knows where the space is. He works it a couple of yards. Doesn't have to move a lot. But once he gets there with his right boot, you expect him to score. Certainly get it on target. Here is that first punch. Not a good one. The second one's much better. I think what the Arsenal fans liked, he gave John Terry a little nudge as well.
Zuma, just a straight swap for Azpilicueta to show his versatility. Really a centre-half.
As he showed last season, he can play as a holding midfield player. I'm not sure left-back's his ideal position. I think it's the fact that Azpilicueta's been booked. That's why Jose Mourinho has made the change.
Ivanovic was sent off in a Community Shield 3 years ago. The last time Chelsea were in it, they lost 3-2 to Manchester City. At Villa Park it was played then because of the London Olympics. It's involved football at Wembley. Oscar was involved in the Brazilian team in the London Olympics. Here's Falcao.
It's amazing how people can jump to conclusions. I remember that first game, it was Eden Hazard's first game for Chelsea.
It was.
He had a really poor match. And everyone was saying, what a waste of money. Surely he's not going to make an impact on the Premier League. Well, how wrong could everybody have been?
Ivanovic was sent off in a bit of a challenge with his fellow Serb Kolarov. And apparently after the game they went to earn international duty in the same taxi. I don't think it was anything that lasted very long. Chelsea's throw. Chelsea had a lot of the ball in the second half. Had that Hazard chance, which he skied. Still got, I reckon, 20 minutes, taking into account added time.
I think we could see Debuchy's just been called over by Steve Bold on that far side of the field.
Matic. Fabregas. Into Falcao. Kept with Hazard centrally. Zuma is the player on the far side. Tries to dig out a cross. Cazorla certainly digs out a pass. Clever control by Giroud, and then his teammates wrong-footed by Ozil. Fabregas, foul. Ramsey feels that he got the ball, could be taken by Chelsea. Willian, be the biggest surprise if Chelsea find an equaliser. Fabregas, Arsenal being stretched a bit now.
Better movement from Chelsea all round in this second half. Koscielny good defending though. Saw the danger, reacted quickly.
Fabregas to take the corner. Scored plenty of goals from his corners last season. Terry and Cahill working that out between them. And here's Zuma. Ooh, shot right on the line. And it was Terry who kept it alive beyond the far post.
Just looking a bit vulnerable. Ball's played into the box now, Arsenal. Won't win the first one, can't win the second one, but Petr Cech's been in the right place. Every time he's been asked to make a save. An easy save for him in the end.
Giroud. Getting some players up in support. Courtois shifted the trajectory. So Ramsey was just trying to sneak in. It would have been a flatter cross. He might have been able to do that. Always has that knack, Aaron Ramsey, if timing runs into the penalty area.
Something he seemed to pick up in the last couple of years. When he first went to Arsenal, it didn't look as though he was going to score too many goals.
He did do it at Cardiff, though. That was part of his appeal of signing him. And saw him score a couple against England under-21s for the Welsh counterparts right at the start of his career. Stuart, it was the injury he's made an amazing recovery from. Like the broken leg.
That game you were talking about, he was actually man-marked by, first of all, Lee Catamol, who couldn't do the job. And then Fabrice Muamba tried to man-mark Aaron Ramsey and tore them apart.
Chelsea have been raising the ante, but Arsenal still have the lead. Coquelin. Santi Cazorla. Ozil. In the end, Oxlade-Chamberlain, we know, can hit them with his left foot. Further out, but more central.
Just got a slight block on it here. John Terry coming out, closing the ball down.
Inside the last 15 minutes at Wembley. The FA Community Shield. The score of the game's only goal. Being replaced here, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. His father leading the applause, rightly so.
Here's the goal. What a good goal it was. Coming inside Azpilicueta, which isn't easy to do. Just got himself that little bit of space, and then the wonderful technique with his left foot.
It's Mikel Arteta who returns to competitive action after an injury-strewn season. He's been encouraged about his future with a new deal over the last few weeks. And Arsenal obviously believe he's got football left in him. This will go alongside Coquelin, Stuart. Try and set up a bit of a barricade that maybe Mertesacker and Koscielny will appreciate.
Arteta is the holding midfield player. He'll get on the ball and he'll pass it, but he really does lack pace and energy at times. Can be outrun.
Ivanovic. The assistant who flagged. Real trying to plead his innocence. He went for the ball.
Yeah, just can't challenge from behind. Hazard, as soon as he screamed and went down, the referee and the assistant referee always going to give the free kick. Chance for Fabregas to whip this one in.
And this is where different goalkeepers have different perspectives. And Cech, of course, has got to make sure his new Arsenal colleagues understand what he wants.
They're holding a very high line, as they always do, Arsenal. There's a lot of space between Petr Cech and the back players of Arsenal. He hits it in the air with plenty of height. He comes and gets it, but there's a lot of space for Fabregas to really whip this in one with pace.
Went for a flatter one with pace and underhit it. Willian. Arsenal fans will have perhaps more than one eye on the clock. It's not just about this game, remember, it's about the recent record between the two managers. Cleared by Koscielny, but not very far. On from Oscar. Hazard. Change it all in the twinkling of an eye, a twinkling of those talented feet. desperately away by Monreal. Matic. They can put together a counter-attack, they will, Arsenal, but for the moment it's trying to defend. It might be a dangerous policy here. Clever work by Oscar. It's Willian who was right in there. It's not the best clearance either. Fabregas trying to undo his old club. Matic, all the while Ivanovic waiting. This time driving it in hard and low. Cleared by Bellerin. Matic, all Chelsea at the moment, but they're 1-0 down. Zuma, Oscar. Falcao couldn't finish it off. Without Walcott, there isn't that great chance to get away, is there?
But what they can do now is get it into Giroud rather than try and play over the top. Here's the chance again. Ball played in. Arsenal defended most balls into the box fairly well. In a good position, Monreal.
As Ozil is coming off for Kieran Gibbs. And rare sight of Victor Moses in a Chelsea shirt. He's been on loan, first of all at Liverpool, then at Stoke. John Terry off.
So that, from Chelsea's point of view, that isn't an injury. So just rested him for the last few minutes.
Gibbs is going to play on the left-hand side in front of Monreal to revive for the left-back position. Here's Falcao, and he couldn't keep it. And fits the heels of Mertesacker.
The biggest worry for Mourinho in this game has been the form of Loic Remy when he was playing up front, and of that man there, Falcao. Every time the ball's come into him, he's either given it away, he hasn't looked quite sharp enough to get away from defenders. Nothing seems to have changed so far for Falcao.
It's just been sporadic sorties into the Chelsea half from Arsenal. Gibbs trying to change that, but it's gone out since that flurry of activity for Giroud when he came on.
I'm not sure whether Chelsea have gone to a back three. I think they have gone to a back three here. Ivanovic, Cahill and Zuma. Matic just in front of them. Moses has come to the right-hand side, Willian to the left.
85,437, the official attendance. And for their investment in watching this match, they could yet have a little bit extra. Chelsea have certainly suggested that they've got an equaliser in them. They've got another free kick to put pressure on Arsenal's back four. We've got the sun in their eyes now. Forward by Fabregas. Taken out by Nacho Monreal and then by Kieran Gibbs. The deepest player there for Chelsea was Oscar. Stayed back to deal with any potential breakout once the defenders have gone upfield for the free kick.
There's no aerial target when they hit the ball from back to front for Courtois. As Fabregas going to try and win that one in the air.
Looking a bit grim from their point of view. The digital clock that we have on our screen is replicated up on the big screens at both ends of the stadium, and now with not too much time on their side, Chelsea waste a bit of it.
On his right foot, very much a left-footed player, Courtois. Tries to control it with his right. Whoops, there it goes. Arsenal aren't sending forward Mertesacker.
Chelsea have left just two up. 3 back for Arsenal. Arteta's going to make it the fourth as an insurance policy, I think. Koscielny a couple of times. Courtois will get it. Been responsible for the corner, and the time used up because of that. Most of the time in clearing it was awkward for Monreal. He would have liked to have headed that back to Cech, but it didn't quite sit for him.
I didn't realise that Eden Hazard was probably 5 yards off of him. He could have just got it under control and tried to whip it down the line. Koscielny has just lost his boot slightly, just putting it back on. Giroud waiting for some support. A break on here for Ramsey. And Arsenal could wrap it up. Well done, Courtois. Oh, and it's spun back from Ramsey again. And it's a corner. That would have been the shield. Santi Cazorla reflects on the first chance. Great vision from Aaron Ramsey in run forward. He allowed Giroud to take a couple of defenders away to get it out to Cazorla. Just took too long with his first touch. Courtois out quickly. Gets his position exactly right. Cazorla doesn't do enough to beat the goalkeeper. Ramsey having followed up his pass, just tries to bend it past the goalkeeper, hitting Matic on the back. There's the threat on the counter from Arsenal.
4 minutes plus stoppage time. Put the corner in again. And, immediately allows Chelsea to counter-attack, popping it into the gloves of Courtois. Finding the energy to counter-attack is a bit of a problem for Mourinho's men. Falcao helps out. Fabregas. Now Willian. There was Falcao one side, Hazard the other. Pass. Got the defender between them. Arsenal really fighting for the win here. Gibbs thinks he got the ball, and then Anthony Taylor has to step in. The first real flashpoint in the match.
There's a lot of players making challenges.
And I mentioned earlier, red cards are not kept in pockets in this match, despite the need or the desire really for it to be a showpiece curtain raiser. The likes of Roy Keane in the past have pushed the boundaries too far. Of course, way back, Kevin Keegan and Billy Bremner, the very first Charity Shield as it was then at Wembley. And it's off target from Branislav Ivanovic, just a little bit ahead of it.
There's a great opportunity. Arsenal holding a high line, ball just whipped in behind. Was there an offside? About 3 or 4 of them were offside when the ball was played. Ivanovic being one of them.
Two minutes plus stoppage time. Arsenal fans still taking not too much for granted against the side that have been such a thorn in their side. Chelsea fight to the very last, you can be assured of that. Moses is out here on this near side. Certainly a player who's got a goal in him. It's another free kick. Maybe another ball into the box.
Well, Hazard doing really well just to wriggle away from the first challenge. Knows as the next challenge comes in, he's just got to nip it away from him. He's holding off the challenge there. It's going to ground. Certainly no foul by Arteta. It's the first foul that
You could never count out Chelsea. Here is Moses. Awkward to Monreal. Just flipped away by Koscielny. Had a really fine game. Moses with the throw. Matic. 20 in the box in blue. That's where the ball goes. Koscielny trying to win the header. Cahill in the mix, and Moses diving in. Falcao diving in.
Arteta that's taken the whack. Put in a brave header there, Arteta. There's the ball into the box. Got numbers in there. First, that is not a particularly good one.
Well, Zuma actually going in with the first one.
Arteta's already holding his face up against Falcao. Mertesacker throwing himself into the mix.
Well, thanks to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, they are on the brink of ending one of the most talked about statistics in the English game. The domination of Jose Mourinho over Arsene Wenger, of Chelsea under Mourinho over Arsenal under Wenger. Anthony Taylor has given Arsenal the free kick. They're nearly there.
And that's what he does well, Giroud. Just holding off the challenge. He knows it's coming in. Just gets his body across the defender.
That it is for the Community Shield is almost academic, Stuart, isn't it? Of course, it's about the result on the day and the fact that there is a prize at the end of the day. It does spice it up. Those games when the Shield was shared did produce some fairly tame encounters. Here goes Santi Cazorla. The corner. The clock ticks on.
Well, they're not going to send too many people up. I think he knows it's not going to be his day here. Jose Mourinho, he'll be disappointed. I don't think the performance has been bad from Chelsea. They've dominated the second half. It's been their lack of invention in that top third of the field. Eden Hazard hasn't quite done enough. The two front players, whether it be Loic Remy or Falcao, haven't done enough.
The concentration on the features of Mourinho tells you again that it is about the imminent end. He's tried to play it down. He knows that one day, because Arsene Wenger's hung around for such a long time, maybe it had to happen, but it would be typical of Wenger's luck that Chelsea will have one more attack and equalise and win the shootout. Another free kick Arsenal's way, and we're heading for the final minute. Been a containing job really for the Gunners in the second half. Again, something that you perhaps wouldn't think that they are the best suited to do.
Well, they've defended quite well when balls have come into the box. There've been one or two moments.
Arsene Wenger saying, well, just get it as far away from Petr Cech's goal as possible. Giroud. Santi Cazorla. Oh, what a fine save by Courtois to stop Kieran Gibbs ending any lingering doubts.
Kieran Gibbs did really well, not with a finish, but winning the ball back, making the forward run. He knows that was a great opportunity.
It was a fetch that ball in the end from Koscielny. This is the chance.
The first touch is good, then he just tries to roll it round Courtois. Great pass into him.
Ramsey. We're dealing in single figure seconds here. Be a little bit more added on because of Ramsey's attempts there, rather unsophisticated attempts to delay the taking of the restart from the goal kick.
Well, that should be it.
That is it. Arsene Wenger has a win on his CV against Jose Mourinho. There's not much in the way of familiarities between the two managers. Mourinho's Chelsea beaten, and Petr Cech, the man they let go to join Arsenal, has kept a clean sheet and helped break the hoodoo on his debut for the club, against the club that he left after 11 extraordinary years. He's on the right end of this result, as he was when the clubs met in the Community Shield 10 years ago, when it was Chelsea and Cech who beat Arsenal and Fabregas by 2-1. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain with a decisive moment midway through the first half. Chelsea certainly gave it their best shot in the second half, but they couldn't find a shot as good as the one that won the match from Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. The Community Shield will go to Arsenal by 1-0.
And Martin